Hey, this is Ransom1690 back here with another video. And today I'm gonna just kind of talk about how I don't feel like I will ever be able to fit in with this society. And what I mean by that, I mean like doing all the stuff that they say you're supposed to do, like go to work or get a job and be buy an apartment or a house and just all this bullshit they say that you're supposed to do to survive or all of that shit. Well, I don't know what the fuck they really say. I'm just kind of guessing, but basically that's the expectations for you for life. And I'm saying this because I had a construction company call me back yesterday from when I went to the job fair. And one of the things I keep noticing with all these fucking places is just how they fucking lead you on. Okay. They tell you a little bit about the position. But I asked her, like, she said that they was doing an on-site training, and I asked her, okay, so where is the training taking place? And she didn't give me a specific fucking answer. She was talking about like, oh, well, it happens like all around the place. So I don't want to give out details of where I'm staying, but basically it was like, oh, it's in different counties, and yes, I would have to go to the county that's nearest to me, and she didn't give me an address. Like, I think I did tell her where I did stay, but she didn't give me an address, which makes it even hard. So even if I know the county, I don't know the address, the street number, the nothing. Just, oh, well, it takes place in these different counties, and so that already annoyed me because I think I've really begun to pick up on these signs when people just want to fucking lead you on. They'll tell you some general bullshit, but they don't want to follow up with any kind of specific details for you to get this shit done. And on top of that, I wouldn't be able to go anyway because, again, I don't have my fucking driver's license. So I was going to enroll in driving school next month because, that shit cost any money. And I didn't want to spend any more this month. Uh, you know, but I wound up having to tell her I didn't have a driver's license because she asked, like, do I have my driver's license? And I'm like, no. So that prompted the question, okay, well, why don't you have your driver's license? And immediately when they ask these type of fucking questions, it's a wrap. Because what the fuck can you say about to questions like that every time they ask? Like, oh, well, why don't you have your driver's license? Or, well, why don't you have any more job experience? Like, that all really means they writing you off because there's no fucking good excuse I can give for that without going into all the family bullshit. And, I really don't be wanting to do that. So I'm just starting to really consider that, maybe this shit ain't for me. Because first off, I don't be wanting to fucking tell these people about my personal life. And I really, now I get it. I remember watching a true crime case about this terrible, terrible foster mom who took in these kids just to abuse them, and I think she locked them up in a shed. Like she locked them up in a shed. Like she did a whole bunch of terrible shit to them to where, for the majority of their life, They weren't able to fucking gain any experience or do anything in this world because they were too busy being sheltered and abused, you know? So now this fucking woman, along with her, foster brothers and sisters, they gotta go out, try to find jobs into their adulthood, like at 25 years old, and then they gotta go on these jobs being asked, oh, well, why don't you have any experience? Well, what were you doing during that time? And they gotta fucking go into their abuse. And it's like, people are really just nosy. Like, and I remember she said that, it was just horrible because she had to keep going back into the traumatic event for these employers. And I'm like, people are in this life, like they are, especially these fucking employers, they are just fucking nosy. Like, they don't know how to mind their goddamn business and shit. They always want to know everything about you, know what you doing in your life, what kind of education you're pursuing. And it's not because they actually give a fuck about you. It's because they just want to know how it's going to benefit their business. And that's another thing. Like, I don't think I can fit in with shit like that. Like, after trying this for a whole fucking, a whole fucking decade since graduating high school. And of course, shit happened to where it kind of complicated things back then with my mom and shit, like I mentioned in previous videos. But just overall looking at the whole thing, I don't know if I can really fucking keep doing this shit, I know it's gonna sound real risky to say, but I think, like, I'm just ready to start focusing all my attention on just improving my art skills even more and just trying to pursue that full time, honestly. And, just I tried to do the fucking responsible thing and, like, oh, well, you still need a job, you still need some money, like, right now. And, and I tried doing that shit. But it's like, every fucking time I just go to these events or fill out job applications and all that shit, and I wound up with these fucking employers either ghosting me or asking me stupid ass questions about my life, like, why don't I have this yet? Why don't I have that together yet? What's going on? Like, it just makes me just want to fucking stop doing this shit because I keep seeing just, it's too much fucking nosy. I don't appreciate the nosiness, and I don't fucking like the damn condescending behavior of just doing this shit. And I have recently had a falling out with Workforce Commission because of that. Because they told me specifically to stop calling them, to not call them, to not follow up with them. They'll follow up with me because I had to keep fucking calling these motherfuckers because they would ghost me for months at a time. And after they told me, they called me back like, oh, well, we'll work this out and we'll get back to you. And, they would keep sending me on these damn mock interviews and like these dry run fucking, oh, let's see how well you function in a work environment. Them testing me and shit. And then they would ghost me for a fucking month. And I'm like, and it would go into 2 months. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? So I try to call these people back. And they say some bullshit. Like, oh, we were just about to call you. Like, really, motherfucker? And, I'm just really sick of all that bullshit. Like, just people fucking leading me on or trying to pry into my personal life, my personal business, or, being ghosted and shit. Like, that shit really fucking affects my mental health. And, And I don't want to fucking get into how it does, but it's just, I notice like when every time I try to fit into doing all this other bullshit that is expected of me to do, for my life, man, my fucking diet starts getting worse. I start eating worse because I feel worse. So I don't feel like fucking eating healthy, putting it, because, cooking, it takes fucking energy, it takes time, to try to get all the ingredients. And I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna eat some instant meal or some shit. Or go out to eat, which I've been trying to stop fucking doing. It affects just how I cope. And, I start to not cope in the best of ways, which I'm also not going to get into. And it really just fucks me up. It fucks my routine up. But, I try to persist because I'm like, well, I really do want to fucking get some money as fast as possible to get the fuck out of my living environment. But it's like every time I try to do this shit, it just fucks me up even more. So it's almost like a double whammy there. If I don't do this shit, then I'm gonna just stay in the environment I'm in, which isn't any more mentally healthy as it is. But if I try to do this shit, then I gotta deal with all the other bullshit that doesn't really do good for my mental health. And it's like, it ain't no fucking winning. But the only thing I can think is just stay out the fucking house so I don't gotta deal with the yelling. I don't gotta listen to the fighting. And just stay in a Barnes and Noble or some shit and just do my art stuff there. And go to the rec early in the morning just to stay out the house all day. That's the only thing I can think. And I still at least want to try to get my fucking driver's license and get a car somehow. But, all of this fucking employment shit, going to workforce commission and, job fairs, filling out job applications, I just don't think I can fucking do it anymore. Like, I don't think that I can really fit in with any of this societal bullshit, especially now that I'm 31. Like, every fucking time I go to these places and they see my lack of job experience, the question always comes up, oh, well, what were you doing between that time? And it's like, I don't be fucking wanting to answer that shit. And, I don't fucking want to tell them that, oh, well, I was a naive motherfucker, so I listened to my mom about terrible life decisions that wound me up in this position. So here I am right now, So just the more I keep fucking looking at this shit, I don't think like it's really an option anymore for me to decide like, okay, do I really want to go all the way in with this art thing or no? Because I keep trying this other bullshit, the bullshit that my workforce counselor said to do to survive, to do the thing you don't want to do is what she said, because that's what life is all about. And it ain't fucking working out. And this same bitchy ass counselor is the one who keep fucking ghosting me when I try to follow up with her bitchy ass. And I actually, again, had a falling out with her and her little fucking assistant that she assigned me to, because the last time I tried to follow up with them, they started talking to all this bullshit, being all condescending and stuff. And I was just calling to ask a fucking question about the process and about this fucking paperwork. They didn't want to tell me what it was. And I fired them up. I'm going to fucking just admit it. Like I just fired them up. You know, I was sick of all the bullshit. 8 months of dealing with these motherfuckers, and I'm still not on a goddamn job. Since December of last year, and they still haven't got me on a fucking job. So it's like, fuck these guys, you know. But yeah, I know I've just been kind of, this is just kind of a rant, but I don't know. I think I'm just done trying to do this whole job bullshit. You know, I don't know yet because I still want a little bit of more money than this fucking SSI. You know, because I ain't hardly getting shit on this SSI. But it's like this whole job shit, like it just fucks me up worse when I try to get into it. So I don't fucking know. You know, this is just a rant. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got on here to say. You know, had this real crazy ass dream last night. And, and that's another thing too. Like I noticed like when my mood and shit is bad, when my mental state is bad, like I be having a lot of crazy ass dreams. Like I had a fucking dream last night that I was trying to escape from this burning building, and then some way, somehow, it ended up transitioning into a scene of Salvador Dali driving in this car, and his significant other was fighting with him and shit, and she was like biting his, genitalia. And it was just crazy, and he needed to get hospitalized for that. And I'm like, what the? And I woke up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And like that's just another weird thing. Like when I'm just really not doing good mentally, it's like my dreams, it start going all over the place. It gets haywire and shit, and I start having dreams about stuff that don't make any sense. But I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah, that's my video for now. And have a good one. I guess, I'll make another video when I feel like it. So yeah.